Today on BRStv, all these ULM tanks are ready to go. What's next for the evolution of the BRStv tank trials? And 2 free Kessel H380s at the end. I'm Ryan, your host of BRStv Tank Trials ULM Edition. This is episode 22 of ULM in development of an ultra-low maintenance system. The goal is a stable, show caliber reef tank which requires as little maintenance as possible, potentially only performing a few minutes of maintenance a month. Today is going to be a pretty short episode because everything's up and running. I'm just going to share a quick update of where the tanks are at, what you can expect to see going forward, and what the next tank build is likely going to be. I think most of you are going to get pretty excited. So starting with the tanks, I do have a few things to note. First, with both the Softy and LPS tank, they've done really well considering that we added 80 corals to each one at once. More or less, after a reasonably long cycle, we just created insta tanks, but near zero coral losses in the Softy and polyp tank. All the polyps are out and look awesome. Really, I'm just happy with how this turned out. There's also almost no cyano or algae in the Softy and polyp tank. Overall, just looking awesome for a brand new tank. I will note that once a week the DKH does seem to drop a point or so, and I'm just manually adding some 2-part in. I'm currently looking into some ULM solutions for that, and I'll let you know how it turns out in the next update. The LPS tank is also doing rock solid. Again, for being a well-cycled insta tank that got 80 frags all at once, I think we lost less than 5 frags. However, mostly due to less than ideal placement and just trying to find space with that many frags. Again, almost no signs of common issues for new tanks with cyano or common algae. Really happy with how this tank turned out as well. One change that I did make was swapping out the Kessel H380s with the smaller H160 that Kessel sent us as prototypes, so it seemed like it made sense to try them out. This was largely because we just had difficulty getting the light far enough away from the Kato with this sump and stand design. The new adjustable 160 just seemed like a better matched option to a 60-gallon tank. Something that we also did on the SPS tank as well. If you're interested in the H160, they should hit the shelves in just a few weeks. However, I will say the well-cycled insta-tank approach on the SPS tank has had some challenges, and of the 80 or so frags, we lost a couple dozen. This tank has also had some significant cyano buildup over the week. Because of that, we've done a few water changes just to get a solid starting chemistry point for tracking the progress. So the losses in this one tank and the cyano are certainly less than desirable. We're just trying to keep it real, and while sharing the successes of the other 2 tanks is fun, just as important are the challenges. I guess I can't pinpoint the difference here other than the SPS tank gets a lot more light with the T5 hybrids, which can certainly increase the cyano growth. And outside of that, the SPS corals are just more fragile, so adding 80 at once is a bit of a crapshoot. At this point, other than a few reactive water changes, I'm not planning on doing anything different. Just let the tank stabilize and move forward. The one thing I am likely to add in the future is another Neptune dose, which is capable of performing those periodic water changes for me whenever the ICP testing tells me that it would be wise. Honestly, after watching how well this has worked out in the Softy tank, I'm compelled to never carry another bucket of water in my life. I'm just a million times more likely to perform a water change if all that's required is to mix up the salt and flip the dose schedule on. Even better, rather than doing the water change all at once, the dose can spread it out over time for me, meaning I don't even need to heat the water. If you can run some lines along the wall, through the ceiling, floor, or even outside the house, I think this dosing pump-based auto water change system may be the best thing that I've ever done on a tank. Okay, so what can you expect to see going forward? Well, we'll likely give 3-month updates via BRStv episodes, which will be pretty in-depth. But for those who are looking for more timely updates, I'll also be updating the Reef to Reef thread, as well as uploading some short clips or shots to my Instagram, which is just Ryan BRS, so feel free to check that out. I'm going to try and keep solid records of the effort, challenges, and successes with all the tanks, but just like the 160, I wish I could fast forward a couple years right now, but the journey is part of the fun. So what's next for tank trials? Well, BRStv in general is going to get back to the investigates with a bunch of testing that we've been doing for months and sharing those results. However, tank trials is moving forward as well. I don't have the final details locked in, but some of you may have had the fortune of visiting Worldwide Corals in person, seeing 3 awesome tanks that they have there, which are all absolutely dream tanks, the end goal for so many of us. So in that spirit, the Worldwide Corals team has agreed to come up here and set up a tank in the BRS lobby. But not just that, they're also going to share their exact method, tips, and secrets of achieving those results. And then we're going to make a solid attempt of using what amounts to be the WWC method on the BRS lobby tank and see if we can recreate those results following their recipe. Meaning if we can take something that they've already proven many times over and then have a totally different team recreate those results, the chances are you can too. Really a whole new roadmap to success. I'm looking for a slightly different format for this series, so it'll be interesting to see what we come up with. I'd expect to see that in the next couple of months. In the meantime, this week we're giving away both of those H380s that we took off the ULM tanks this week, which is like $600 in lighting. Just for fun, Randy and I both signed them with ULM. So if you want to win a bit of ULM history, sign up with that link in the lower left or head on over to the site, click on specials and deals, and then free stuff. As always, if you like what we're doing here, hit that subscribe button and notification bell to be instantly notified when we release new BRStv episodes every week. See you next week with a brand new episode of BRStv Investigates.